This was going to be aluminum and now it's steel, so I'm getting rid of the holes, adding these tie-down slots for hooks. I'm assuming things are going to be piled in and around this area so we can use the sides and the middle. I'm going to do the same around the perimeter of the floor. I've got to extend this bend to cover the caps of the tube. Got to make top pieces here because Rain is ready to cut all the sheet metal. And then I haven't decided yet, but I think I want to weld a sheet here. But I think I want it to be slightly higher than the floor. I haven't decided yet. The reason being, I want things to be loaded in from the back through this channel that I've left open. And then you kind of like steer them into place. And then if this has a lip on it, it means things can't fall off, but then it also means it'll be a bit of a pain to load things on it from the side, if that's what we wanted to do. So I'm conflicted on that. I'll leave it open for now, but for the time being, Rain's done a great job at putting this together. If anyone ever wanted one of these, we would definitely need to invest in like a jig table and clamp things properly, because to keep this thing square, we had all kinds of weird things going on while it's welding. When you weld things, there's distortion. When there's distortion, things like to twist and pull. A little bit of toe on the rear wheels that we're gonna have to tweak out of it. Mr. Rain, you might have to take the camera and take a little peek down from the top. Now, if this was a drift pick cart, we'd be running the toe in, but we want her to just track nice and straight and smooth. Even with the toe though, this thing rolls with just, you breathe on it. I'm thinking that we might actually, given the weight that this is going to be, we might actually want to throw a couple brake calipers. I joked about it at first, but now actually seeing it and how full and big it'll be, you might want to have a little lever to pull on. And of course we could set it up with like a Wilwood handbrake master and some Wilwood calipers if we really wanted to go there. The next thing we're doing is getting everything that we think we're going to put on it, and of course we're going to miss some stuff, but we're going to think about it, all the fluids, and it's a hot pick cart, so we don't necessarily need the entire quantity of what we bring to the track. Like, we bring a bunch of oil to the track, but we don't need it in the hot pit. We bring a bunch of tires and wheels, but we only need 4 or 6. Finding out what the necessities are and using this cart to hold everything is what we're going to be doing. How many VP gas jugs are we going to need? Is it 2? Could we put 4? We don't know. The other thing is that I'm thinking of, when we put this pick cart into the trailer, it's so big, we do want it to house almost everything that we do need. And we want it to be seamless in and out. The whole point of this is to make our lives easier. So we're going to be doing everything in our power to make it that way. So you'll see Rain cutting these floors out, welding them in, and then we're going to set up all the parts that we think we're going to need to throw on this thing.
Walk your dog, more like walk your pick cart.
All right, so we've gathered pretty much everything that we think we're gonna want on that cart. This is it. I'll give you a quick rundown on what's here. I know that's gonna interest some of you guys. 4 jack stands, 4 wheels in a hot pit. Generally speaking, you're not going to need more than 4, especially if it's like FD or something. Practice is only going to give you enough time to use 4 wheels, and then 2 jugs of fuel. You're definitely going to use those. Jack stands, hopefully not going to use those. The rest of it is all precaution, and other than the gears, you may have to use that as well. We have a tire inflator. We're probably going to get a bigger one of these. The aluminum jack, we have a table, extension cords, power bar, tent. This is my rear spares, so I have everything from axles to suspension to wheel bearings inside of here. And then the front has everything to do with the front, like suspension, wheel bearings, I think a spare steering rack, an alternator, a couple things are in that as well. This one I call the power tower. It's got all of our battery powered things in it. These ones are a mix of just everything that we need necessity-wise. So we've got some electrical things, we've got some mechanical things, chargers and radios, pliers, tape measures, we have clipboards and zip ties, and all of that type of stuff is in these 3 pack outs. We have our generator. This is our small one. We have our large one that powers the trailer. Oil pan. The only thing we're really missing from this is our fluids tote. But when you go to a hot pit, I really think we're just gonna need 1 bottle of each. So I'm probably gonna build in some kind of a fluids shelf that has like a paper towel and then 1 small bottle of each, like brake fluid, gear oil for if we do the quick change gear or something like that. It's not gonna have anything crazy. Some microfibers, probably for just wiping the car down with some like VP car cleaning supplies. That's pretty much it. Obviously, we're gonna be adding things up top. I'm gonna be building a canopy to hold all of these pack outs. They're not gonna fit on the support, so I'm thinking we're gonna make some kind of fold down tailgate that will fold down. It could be used for people standing on it, or it could be used for these 4 pack outs sitting on the back of it, 1 strap around, go to the hot pit. So we're kind of setting ourselves up for progression. This cart, like I told you, we're making it out of steel sheet metal that's going to be welded. I put a ton of cutouts in it so that we can ratchet strap a bunch of different ways to it. But we will be able to add to this cart in any way that we see fit. So that's what we have. Now I'm going to take this tape measure and I'm going to get a basic length, width, height on each one of these items. Some of them I have CAD models for, some of them I don't. With the length, width, height, I'm going to be able to just place things on the cart in CAD and then determine what we're going to need for the canopy mezzanine thing going forward. We're probably gonna finish this cart out as it looks, but with all the sheet metal, and then use it in some way at the next round and see what we like and didn't like about it. That's enough talking. I'm gonna start measuring and start plugging all these things into CAD.
Well, that's the floor, and then these are the fenders. And then we have the spacers for the nitrous bottle, side skirts. This is like a tabletop for the front, I believe. The tabletop for the rear that needs to be bent. And then we're missing the tailgate cover, and that's it. Other than that, everything's good to go. I don't know what this piece is. Oh, wow.
Jack goes under it, and then the jack stands go on this piece. Top deck has a corner just like this where the stands will sit. These get folded up so the stands can't fall off. This cutout is for the jack handle. Then there's a cutout in this piece here. That's gonna hold the hitch vise in this square. So we're gonna weld a 2.5 inch tube in behind here through this hole. I'll probably weld it right there. I left a gap here, so we'll just make a plate that goes on the back. It's also a square in the middle of the top deck. So the vise will sit here just for transport, but it'll go there if we ever need it. Because I wanted the cart to be exactly dimensionally flat on all sides so that you can store it into a trailer. It's not going to scrape a wall, it's not going to hit anything else. So everything can be put within the cart. That was kind of the idea around it. It's pretty sweet. All these cutouts also, they're for straps. You can fit a hook through and grab these bars. They do look cool as well, but the idea is that you can strap anything down to this.
Well, we have a lot of bending to do. I think there's 4 pieces that need bent, so probably do all that first, and then we'll start fitting piece by piece. Probably start with the fenders and the floor, and then we'll go from there.
This is an M8 hole, which is going to be, we're going to drill through the frame and tap this to either an M10 or a 3/8. So let's just see how we line up square, because our fenders need to be edge to edge to this. So basically, if we bend this right on center with your cutout here, it may draw it this way a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get the jack here too, just to even see if this is gonna work. I'll grab that in. This is gonna get bent down on this side. These are all gonna get bent up.
This, where the grill's going.
With the glizzy roller.
The glizzy roller.
These brackets are gonna be welded to vertical tubes. So they will be bolted through. We're gonna thread these holes and bolt these down. And this is gonna be essentially the mezzanine or carousel or whatever you wanna call it. But it's basically gonna hold tires. It's gonna have some shelves. It's gonna be able to actually hold those red bins. Those bins are gonna be holding things like fluids, extension cords and cables and whatever else we may need. So we're gonna be setting this up where these tubes are gonna be bolted here. But you can see how I made this a mirror as well, based on where it's being placed. The center one is just a through hole, so we're gonna put a nut on the other side. Basically this tube can be bolted this way, can be bolted this way, however you see fit. We might have to add a crosser underneath this opening between these two pillars. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how stiff this is once we bend it. So far everything looks like it's gonna fit really well. Won't fold up that well because this needs to be bent down, but essentially we're putting a plate on top of this. I think I'm just gonna get some good casters, weld them here on the top side so that when you lower this down, the caster will sit on the ground and it'll essentially be a trailing platform that you could stand on with people. You could put your pack outs on it. And because it hangs so far back from the rear axle, if you go over big hills or in and out of trailers, this might scrape, but if you just put casters on the bottom, the casters will just touch the ground and the tailgate will kind of move slightly. So all we would be putting on it is our 4 rolling pack outs. Those things take up a lot of space, but it's really nice to have them so organized and so easy to move around and carry. So I know a lot of pick carts have pre-made cabinets and areas for you to put stuff, but then that stuff has to be there indefinitely, and to remove it is a big pain. Whereas pack outs, I can wheel them on the cart, wheel them off the cart. I can bring one pack out over there, one over here. It's just going to be a much better setup, in my opinion. So, and I think in a lot of drifters' opinions, I think everyone's using pack outs of some kind. We're going to let Rain fab up and bend up everything with this.
Excited, Rain?
Extremely.
Like a giant toe plate. It's so stiff now with the bends. Oh yeah, that's stiff.
Couple fitment issues, Rain?
Not issues. No, they're not. It's not perfect, but it's really close. Okay, update. All the body panels are fitted and welded. Everything except the skin for the tailgate. I'm gonna cut that later today, hopefully, and then weld it on. But currently the cart is in the way of the laser. The fenders, the tops, the rack for the jack and the jack stands, all good. Currently, Josiah just finished fitting up the top mount for the tires, and then we're gonna tack it on and then hopefully fully weld everything within the next hour. Yeah, everything went really smooth.
Looks pretty sick.
Very sick.
I threaded these holes. I don't know if you talked about this or not. These holes, and then I lined up with this little piece perfectly in each corner. So these posts are gonna bolt to the base, but be welded to this upper carousel frame. My original design, I had the posts here in the corners, and then I thought this is the back end of the cart. So if we want to throw a tent in here, if we want to throw big items in this area, transmission, diff, it'd be way better if the posts were on the inside. So fortunately I had enough time. We added the posts here instead, and it really didn't interfere with anything. But as you can see, the holes are there. All I need to do is drill through and then tap it, which I was going nuts with on the drill there. Worked out really well. Get this welded in. We're pretty much gonna just refine this state and then take it to the competition that we got, because we gotta pack up the trailer here in like 20 minutes. So we're probably not gonna have the tailgate. We're either gonna take the tailgate right off. Might be easier for us in that sense. And we'll worry about finishing that later to hold the pack outs and stuff. The more you use this thing, the better it's gonna become, because we're gonna wanna add things here and there. So.
I want to do as much welding as is now.
You want to get this whole thing welded while on here. This piece might have a bit of a bow in it. These are all like pretty much identical. Or wait, this would be your level of the cart. With this piece angled, this is going to be a bit lower. And then you're gonna just add square tube. Don't even weld it on the bottom, because it's gonna bolt here. The tube will be welded to this piece and to the second piece. But the whole thing will be here with 4 bolts and 4 spacers. The tube can touch here, because it'll help support it.
You just want it removed.
This will be like that, and then the second one will be about here. It'll hold 5 nitrous bottles and then the 1 welding bottle, because it's the same diameter, the small one. And then your jack stands go there, there, jack under. Bottles here. So right off the bat, we get rid of the DeWalt carry case for the bottles. Generator underneath, welder underneath. Those are a pain, because they're always like all over the place with cords and stuff. Toolbox, huge pack outs. It won't take long to load or unload, which is the cool part. It's in its bare form, where we're still going to be adding things, the old bins here and stuff, but essentially we got to start loading the trailer right now. We're going to just pack this thing with as much as we can get, and from doing that we'll learn where we want to add stuff. Everyone should guess what they think this thing's going to weigh. This vise works great. Slap it in there. Now we can whale on this thing because it's welded on the side and everything else. I'm probably gonna switch sides. I had this side as the welder, but just because of where the controls are. Apparently the welder fits here. Let's go find out. Jack, is this gonna fit?
I don't know, man.
I measured everything as length, width, height, like really quickly, so. Oh, it's a perfect fit. What? I guess it makes
No
sense.
way.
No, I did measure it, so it isn't no way.
Oh.
So I have 6 nitrous bottles. Okay, one goes in the car and the other 5 go in here. Unfortunately, this is the same size as a nitrous bottle. So I'll have 1 welding bottle and then 5 nitrous bottles. It won't look aesthetically appealing. That's the only problem. And then oh, look at this, Jack. People will think it's part of the cart. It almost could be. I could probably connect this. Wow. Watch your head on this. I already smoked my head. You could actually fit so much more stuff there. So we're gonna put 4 of these here. I 3D scanned this one. Made a cool video of how we're integrating it into the CAD model first. We haven't determined what kind of a restraint we're gonna do other than right now, just straps. These are all full, weighing 32.75 pounds each. Little nitrous outlet shout out. Bottle itself weighs 17 3/4. You can see all the stats here. So full, 32 3/4. Really, really sick. Then let's get the OCD. Probably I left enough room to put a small rubber gasket around. I'll either 3D print it from TPU or I'll buy some kind of an edge.